This is funny.
Say, Artie, what's so funny?
This is hysterical.
What's so funny? Is that the script?
Well, this is really killing me.
I read the script.
Oh, is it?
I didn't see funny.
Well, it says here, when the colonists ran out of tea in Boston Harbor, they threw in a boatload of bananas. Now that's funny.
We don't have to plant our nose inside some stuffy textbook prose at Fifth Street School. 'Cause each and every page of facts are much more fun than Tagger Jacks. 'Cause Fifth Street's our school. History is something that we all know about. We go there and meet the people right face to face. Ask them ourselves what kind of folks it takes to be heroes. Kids don't have to plant their nose inside some stuffy textbook prose at Fifth Street School. 'Cause each and every page of facts are much more fun than Tagger Jacks. 'Cause Fifth Street's our school. Oh, we'll have the time learning our lines, and all our friends will help us know them. We are from Fifth Street School.
Why is it we always have to learn about old stuff, like pioneers? Why don't we learn a little more up-to-date things, like outer space? Cats in space!
But, Conrad, we have to know about here before we can go up there.
Run that by me again.
We have to learn about our roots to find out how we got from yesterday to today.
Yesterday, I was a kitten. Today, I'm a cat. But tomorrow...
Yes?
Tomorrow, I could be a tiger on the moon. Speaking of lost in space, what do you think he's up to?
Knowing Oliver, my first guess is food. After that, who knows?
Well, if it has anything to do with food, he's certainly pounding it into shape.
Sounds like he's beating it to death.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
That's better. Pioneer Day should be fun. Learning the ways of the Indians and early settlers. I have this terrible feeling he's up to no good.
And I got the feeling that it won't be too long until we know what it is.
Just don't pay any attention to him.
That's like saying the atom bomb's coming, but there's no need to duck. This is driving me crazy.
I've heard of hammering home a point, but this is ridiculous.
He doesn't even have good rhythm.
If he doesn't stop soon, I will personally start my own Indian uprising.
Oliver, don't you dare take one more step until you've explained what it is you're doing. This is no time to monkey around.
What? Huh? Were you talking to me?
Oliver, we're just a little curious about what it is you're doing.
Oh, I'm just working on a refreshment stand for Pioneer Days.
I guess we should have known it would have something to do with food.
Pray tell us, Oliver, what are you going to have in your food stand?
Must be making pound cakes.
Funny, Conrad. That's very funny.
Nope, you're wrong.
Don't keep us in suspense.
I'm building an ice cream stand.
Well, that's all well and good, Oliver, but I fail to understand what an ice cream stand has to do with our Pioneer Days celebration.
Gee, that's simple. I'm calling it Custer's Last Stand.
Oh, God. Daniel Boone, Kit Carson, Buffalo Bill. Boy, that's what I call adventure on the frontier. History and excitement all at the same time.
And what about romance?
There you are, surrounded by Indians.
Yes?
When one brave gets down from his horse.
I didn't know he had a horse.
Of course he had a horse.
I'm sorry.
I'll continue. The brave, with bow and arrow in hand, is walking towards you.
Is he tall, dark, and handsome?
How do I know? Besides, what difference does that make?
Well, you wouldn't want me to be attacked by an ugly Indian, would you?
I guess not. Oh, what am I saying?
Well, if you're going to imagine that I'm in the hands of an Indian, he may as well be tall, dark, and handsome.
Oh, okay. The tall, dark, and handsome Indian brave gets down off his horse and approaches you. You're nervous and scared. Now, would you scream? Or would you ask him if he wants to hold your hand? I'm waiting for an answer.
I'm thinking.
I don't believe you.
Well, you wouldn't want me to make the wrong decision at a time like this, would you?
Say, where did you get that feather in your hair?
The same place you got the story you just told. Imagination. I designed it myself. Don't you think it's chic?
You? An Indian maiden?
Not just your average Indian maiden, but your very beautiful Indian maiden.
Oh,
At a loss for words, huh?
not really. It's just that, well,
It's just that I'm simply breathtaking.
well, you see, Indians didn't have ostrich feathers.
Well, this Indian does. Besides, that's a minor detail. You just don't appreciate the finer things. The other feathers I saw were downright ugly.
They were probably natural and authentic.
What's that got to do with it?
That's the whole point of Pioneer Days. Miss Twiddle wants us to learn the true story of settling the West. The settlers, trappers, Indians, the colors, feelings, the reality of it all.
Why don't we just look at some pictures and then get on with the fun part?
Fun part?
Well, I'm sure there must have been a fun part. I mean, all work and no play.
If I'm the pioneer and you're the Indian, we should get to know each other, better.
I knew we'd find the fun part.
Making a country like this is something that one can't do without taking time to think about their friends. 'Cause friends don't cost nothing but help and time and love. And you can't buy a friend with wealth or gold. Back in the old West frontier, a man had to have his friends. 'Cause danger and perils of nature were untamed. The pioneers and Indians knew if they could survive would depend on how much they got along. Pioneers and Indians knew that if they were to be best friends and partners, they could live and work and still be free. Back in the old West frontier, the Indians were proud and free. They roamed over miles and miles of western plains. When pioneers came westward, they brought with them a change to the West and the Indians' way of life. Pioneers and Indians knew that if they were to be best friends and partners, they could live and work and still be free. We have a great free country, and one of the reasons why is 'cause we've worked together hand in hand. The pioneers and Indians showed how it could be done by working and always being friends. Pioneers and Indians knew that if they were to be
agree. It's a nice idea. But the question is, do I get to wear my ostrich plume?
No, Laura. No ostrich plume.
If you won't let me be me, then how can you and I get to understand one another and work together?
You're not supposed to be you. You're supposed to be an Indian maiden. Remember?
Well, this little Indian maiden is going to rise up and powwow on your head.
Laura, you're a sore loser.
And you, Turtle, are going to be a black and blue winner.
Laura, please be reasonable.
You have no sensitivity whatsoever. I'm going to call my agent. Get out of my way, banana breath.
Say, I brushed my teeth.
Move it.
What'll I do?
It's not you. We just had a little costume problem.
I'm calling my agent, and I'm telling him everything.
Oh, the Indians are on the warpath, and the show hasn't even begun. Say, what are you carrying behind your back?
Oh, nothing.
If it's something, how can it be nothing?
It's nothing. Nothing, really.
It's impossible to carry nothing. It has to be something.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Come on, Oliver.
It's a stool.
Yeah? So? So what's the big deal about a stool?
Well, you see, I really want to be in the pageant. And since I can't act, I thought I'd use this stool and be Sitting Bull.
That's good. But I don't think he used a stool.
Well, then, why didn't they call him Standing Bull?
Don't think he stood either.
Squatting Bull? Where do they get names like that?
I don't know. Maybe they had a baby book or something.
My agent says you're in real trouble.
I think I'll go rehearse sitting. See you after.
What's new?
There's been an Indian uprising, and I pulled the stool out from under Sitting Bull.
Wow, and it's still early. What were you planning for later? I don't want to miss one exciting moment.
Well, Conrad, I'm glad you asked. I need a favor.
I don't know if I can.
I need to see Buffalo Bill.
Good old Buffalo. When it comes to straightening things out, he's the straightest shooter in the West.
Sound the alarm. Mount your steeds. Clear the dust, men. We're under attack.
Excuse me, sir. It's just us.
Cancel that order. It's just us. Hey, what in tarnation is an us? Where are you from? Us?
Oh, it's a long story.
It ain't one of them traveling Indian stories, is it?
No, sir, it's a traveling turtle story.
Right you are. What's a traveling turtle?
It's me, sir. My name is Toby.
Aha! Aha! Toby the Turtle.
Yes, sir.
Heard of you.
How?
Well, didn't you play the Sagebrush Canteen once?
Me, sir?
And now you're ready for the big time, huh? Okay. Let's see your audition. You need any props? Horses, dancing girls? You name it. You name it.
No, thanks.
Oh, a self-contained act. I like that. Are you ready to audition?
Not me. I'll just be quiet as a church mouse.
That's a switch.
One does what he must at a time of emergency.
What does this little fella mean by that?
It means you have to act for yourself.
Some friend.
Wonderful, wonderful. A comedy team.
He likes us.
Sir.
I like your routine.
What routine?
The one you fellas are doing.
Well, Mr. Buffalo, it's really not a routine.
And you lads are in trouble. Real trouble. You'll never make it in show business, at least not in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show.
Well, we're just trying to make it in the history business.
History business?
We sought you out because you're a real expert on the Old West.
Well, it ain't the whole West yet, son. Well, now, something about the West. I knew this girl once.
And?
No, I don't think that's the kind of history you're looking for. Let me see now.
Hey, the Indians.
And the buffalo. Now, that's a sad story. Those poor animals.
But you hunted buffalo.
Yes, I did. That's how I got my nickname. I mean, I could have been called Rabbit Bill or even Rattlesnake Cody.
Oh.
But you must remember, I killed buffalo for food and clothing, like the Indians. I never killed for the sake of killing.
And the Indians you went after were bad guys?
Yeah, bad guys?
Whoa, hold on a second. Just an arrow-pulling moment. Now, I don't want you saying bad guys and Indians in the same breath. Just like there are good turtles and bad turtles. You wouldn't want some varmint to say all turtles is dangerous because he got bit on the toe by a desert snapper.
Oh, we see what you mean.
You bet.
But, Mr. Buffalo, sir, we understand you defeated the Cheyennes. Would you care to explain that?
I didn't defeat the Cheyenne. I defeated a war party, most of whom were dedicated to defeating me.
Oh, I'm beginning to see what you mean.
There I was with my rifle in my hand, and I realized I was fighting a war party that was protecting the honor of their people the only ways they knew.
Wow, that's heavy.
The Indians sure do seem like a proud people.
You said it, red fella.
A long time ago, the red man ruled this land. Proud and strong and brave. He roamed the plains, free like a cave. Choctaw, Cherokee, Blackfoot, and Sioux. All mighty nations, each their own. Made up of men who called themselves braves, with wives and children tagging along. Some hunted buffalo to help survive the long, cold winters on the plains. Other tribes planted food rich with grain to keep their children alive. Mighty Apaches ruled the desert sands. The war prince put the fear within. Any white settler who dared to cross the boundaries of their lands. Crow and Ute ruled lands up high across the Rocky Mountain peaks. Mohawk and Hurons were tribes of the north who traded French furs for beads. Bows and arrows and spears and knives were all the Indians had to build and hunt and feed their own and use to defend their land. When white men saw tall Indian chiefs dressed in skins and feathers and beads, he called them savages, not knowing at all what proud men they were indeed. One thing for sure that we could learn from the way the Indians live. It's you never take more than you need from nature, and you learn to love and give.
That's good.
Indians, proud and strong, knew what was right and wrong. By the way they lived among all God's creations in life.
And you mustn't forget one of my closest friends is Chief Sitting Bull.
He seems like a tough Indian.
He'd never hurt a fly, unless, of course,
Unless, of course, what, sir?
unless you take away his stool. Ooh, boy, does that make him angry.
Oh, am I in trouble with Oliver?
What's an Oliver?
Oh, a friend of ours. At least he was, until I took away his stool.
He wasn't very understanding.
Oh, man should learn to live together as brothers and try to settle their differences peacefully.
Tell us about your Wild West show.
Yeah, let's hear about your Wild West show.
Well, it's been on the road now for nearly 30 years.
Wow, I'd sure call that a long run.
Buffalo Bill's original Wild West show, the most gigantic, the most stupendous, amazing spectacle on the face of the earth.
That big, huh?
And I owed all to a chap named Ned Botland.
Never heard of him. Was he a marksman?
Not as I remember. I think he was a Republican. But boy, could he write.
Right.
Yeah, I was just an obscure cavalry scout when this fella made me a hero. Prince of the Plains, he called me that.
Speaking of royalty, didn't you visit the Queen?
Woohoo! I'll tell you, that was the most fun we had. We went all the way to England for an audience with Queen Victoria back in 1887.
How did you get to England?
Went on a boat. Went with all the animals. The darn fool ship looked like Noah's Ark.
Oh, you mean the horses and the buffalo went to England, too?
Uh-huh, and Buck Taylor. First cowboy hero ever. He was called the King of the Cowboys. And then there was dear little old Annie Oakley. We called her Little Sure Shot. And of course, Sitting Bull, now he sad all the way. Dear Annie, little Phoebe Mosey.
Phoebe?
Mosey? What's that?
Annie's real name.
Well, with a name like that, you had to learn to shoot straight.
Yeah. She and Frank Butler joined me in 1885, just 2 years before our big trip to the Queen.
Gee, I'd forgotten all about Frank.
Annie shot an arrow right through his heart.
Oh, wow, I bet that smarted.
I don't think he meant it that way.
No. But there were times when Butler became Annie's real target.
Oh, how's that?
She would shoot cards right out of his hand.
Well, I'll bet that took the wind out of his sails.
Well, I don't know about his sails, but there were times when she took his breath away.
I just love stories about Annie Oakley.
We excited them with the Pony Express, staged an attack on the Wells Fargo, and we featured the Rough Riders to finish off with roping and bucking broncos. You name it, we did it.
Sir, about our school celebration, did they have food stands back in the old, West?
They sure did.
Really? Well, might I ask what kind?
Well, cream stands, as a matter of fact. A great general had a franchise.
Oh, don't tell me.
It was called
Custard's Last Stand. Hi, Laura. Say, is that a movie magazine you're reading?
For your information, I'm doing research. You seem to forget that I am a serious actress, not just another pretty face.
Well, may I say that with or without your feather, you're the prettiest Indian maiden on 5th Street.
Wow, that's heavy. You are serious, of course.
Of course.
Well then, all right. I graciously accept.
Besides, I believe we should all be brothers.
Try brothers and sisters.
Of course. I think it's always better to settle a misunderstanding with kindness rather than in anger.
Toby, I don't know where you've been or with whom, but what I do know is he must have been a very special person.